All right, let's welcome in this week's guest on the Old Man and the Three podcast. Oh, he just left. We'll get him back.
My bad, dude. Kids, bro.
Oh, my God.
Fastest app yet.
We're with Chris Bosh. Chris, thanks for joining us, man.
Appreciate it, man. Good to be here, bro.
What? So you guys are in Austin right now. We were just talking beforehand because we had lived in Austin for a number of off seasons when I was playing with the Clippers. What has your last 6 months been like, both there and just you said something to me when we first got on, just making it up as you go. What has the last 6 months been like for you?
Well, I mean, let me see. We're getting on September, so 6 months ago? It was real, but it was still more so on the West Coast. First, it was China, and then everything just started growing as far as like hearing the news about it and how serious it is. And around that time, I think I was supposed to be working a couple games. I was going to work a couple of the games getting ready for the playoffs. And I made the decision not to because it looked like things were getting serious. And then then everything locked down, man. And, we spent some time in Miami, just trying to switch things up between different houses just to keep the kids fresh, But, 6 months ago, it had just started. We, said goodbye to Kobe all the way officially. And bro. And then, then it just seems like weathering the storm. And I mean, my kids have been great. We've had a fantastic summer. Despite all of the crazy things happening in the world, we've had great discussions and things like that as a family. But overall, we've grown closer. It's funny, it's crazy, doing stuff like riding bikes and getting to know your neighbors and stuff like that. Nobody does that anymore. So that was the first thing that started happening because, you can't go as many places. You can if you want to, but, it's just not the same. But, it's been good, bro.
Have you picked up any new skills or hobbies? Because you have a million. It seems like every 6 months you have a new thing you're just either obsessed with or just really good at.
Yeah, I know, bro. I can't help it. I do have some new things. I mean, really, I've just been taking this time to dive into things outside of the game, and even dive into the game even more because I'm looking at it from a different perspective. So looking at the playoffs now, the whole bubble situation, watching how the game is changing. Those are things that I do, and I'm just able to just do that without feeling like I have to get better at it. You know what I mean? I can just do that. That mixed with, reading. I'm pretty much a full-time music producer now. That's like my full thing. I've been picking up a lot of art, been, doing a lot of art with my kids, just picking up anything. Now it's crazy. It's funny you say that because now, I mean, I think we're really, really getting into some fun stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I enjoy doing it. And that's the main point.
When were you able to watch games and actually enjoy them? I would imagine, post 2016 when you had to stop playing, that those first couple years, you probably just hated watching basketball. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know for me, just having to watch these fucking playoff games, I'm frustrated.
Oh, for sure, of course, man. I mean, you're a competitor, you know how it is, and man, for the first year. I couldn't do it at all. I was very, I was trying to still play. I was still trying to get back into the game. And it was more about what I was doing. The moment I knew that I wasn't going to play anymore is when Gordon Hayward dislocated his ankle. That was the first game I watched in a year. I said, you know what? I need to reconnect with the game. I need to know what's going out here. And in the first 5 minutes, I see a dislocated ankle. I knew right away that I wasn't going to play anymore. And so then a year after that, it was just kind of like a different, I don't know, you got to work through your stages of grief, and I was angry for quite some time. Um, it was tough watching. And then, it's even like you, bro, you still playing basketball. We've been playing against each other since we were 18 years old, you know. It's kind of tough because, I felt I wanted those twilight years of my career, for whatever reason. We make up things in our head and we think that'll make things way cooler, but just the abruptness and having to deal with that wasn't easy. But I would say a good 2 years before I could watch, about 2.5. My wife, she actually got me to go to a game. She was always on me, yo, let's go to a game. You need to go to a game. I think I took my boy, and we had a good time. And I'm like, damn, NBA games are pretty fun. It's not going to be like that anymore. So I'm glad.
You got him while you still could.
We got this. Oh, man, yeah, no more court sides, bro.
When I was doing my show notes, I didn't realize just how young you were. Like we're basically the same age, but like
yeah.
you were 31 when you stopped playing. Are you at peace with it now? Have you come to grips with it now? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm at peace with it. The thing that hurt the most, I would say, and I had a conversation with Pat Riley about this a couple weeks ago. We felt we were good enough to win a championship my last year. And, for me as a player, I wasn't thinking about winning one, but I'm like, yo, we're pretty good. We're number 2 in the East. We got a shot, and that's all I need. I don't care about anything else. You just give me a shot, and me and D-Wade a shot, and the rest of these guys, I think we can do something. And it just didn't happen, and that was kind of the most frustrating part. But, yeah, I'm at peace with it now. It's a story. To be honest with you, I can't even imagine playing basketball. I haven't played basketball probably in years. I haven't worked out on the court in about 15, 16 months, man. I haven't picked up a ball. I pick up a ball and shoot it once. All right, cool. I've just totally let it go, man, which is good, and I'm definitely okay with that, man. It was a 13-year career. Eventually I had to, I start having discussions with friends, and you come to the realization that there is no perfect ending. I think it's like a very romantic story of the old timer going around the gym for one more lap, and hopefully winning a championship on the way out. That doesn't happen. It just kind of, I had to come to just accept in reality, and that's not a bad thing. And eventually I had to tell myself, like, yo, what else do you want? What else are you going to do? What else you want? And then after seeing Gordon have that gruesome injury, man, I said, okay, that could easily be you, especially after being out of the game for, it was no good ending that I saw. So I was like, I just moved on.
We talked to D-Wade a couple weeks ago about what he missed. And one of the things he mentioned was performing, and that element that people don't necessarily, if you're not playing, you don't necessarily get. And you've always been like that from day one in Toronto. I mean, it wasn't just in Miami. You've always just sort of had a flair for that. Is there sort of an element of that, like you've mentioned the music thing, do you talk to artists about that kind of thing ever? Like, is there a way you can get that performance feel with it not coming through basketball?
No. And that's okay. Because I think, when you listen to some people talk about that, I think you would make a mistake. I would be making a mistake trying to fill that void. That's a whole separate thing. Put that in a box, put it on the shelf. And now I'm on to new performances, or pushing people to perform, So like you mentioned in music, like I work with artists, getting them to that place of performance. And it's really just doing what you're supposed to be doing your job, when it's time. And I do miss the performances. I think the further I get away from it, and especially now with the way society is changing, we 20,000 people a night, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like 82 shows.
Yeah.
Even hanging with musicians, man. I mean, people work a lifetime to get that.
But especially you guys. I mean, the Heatles. It wasn't just the 20,000 people. I mean, every player in the league has that. But when you guys showed up somewhere, you were rock. It's the greatest show on earth, rolling into the city every night.
That was a lot of fun, and and to just be able to experience that was crazy. It's like this rocket ship that's moving too fast, and you just got to stay focused on moving out the, you got to move out the things you can see, and it just goes by really quick. And that was a majority of my basketball. I didn't play many games after that, and really, truthfully, that whole team, you see, that whole team, it wasn't much basketball left in us. I think we gave it all, and it was a 4-year stretch, and shit, everybody kind of went their separate ways after that. Bron's still going, which is great, and UD is still going, but damn, that's about it, man.
Yeah, you and Ray Allen on your newsletter, the last chip, you guys talked about that a little bit, just about how old that team was. And I mean, it's truth. And Ray was like, we were all at the point of our career where we were all just so focused on winning. It wasn't about, the next contract or free agency or anything like that. It was
Right.
all about winning. We didn't have a lot of young guys where we sort of had to deal with that. Chris, I wanted to ask you one thing, just going back to this transition from playing into retirement. Did you have someone help you through the last 4 years, or did you sort of attack this challenge alone?
No, my wife. I would say my wife. No, I didn't. I've spoken to a psychiatrist a couple times, and this is just my humble opinion. This was just myself. I felt that the information I could have gotten from people closest to me. And that was like an experience a few years ago, about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. It was cool. It was good to know those things. But I feel sometimes if you one, ask for help, two, talk about things. I sometimes you can feel that it's you against the world and nobody's in your corner, but that's like a huge thing that I teach my kids, and me and my wife always talk about, is just saying, look, despite anything, I know, we know how a great team works. I have your back regardless. I've got your back. Anybody can say X, Y, or Z. I'm talking to you. I trust you. And just having that mind frame going through that process. Not to say that it was easy. It was extremely difficult, and I'm sure I wasn't the best guy to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But we embrace the challenge both at the same time together. You know what I mean? And even to this day, just trying to figure things out just day by day. Taking on challenges daily, man, and being okay with not knowing. That was like the tough part for me, is being so good in one aspect, and then in regular life, like regular life, man, woo, it's a challenge, man. It's crazy.
I think that's something that all ex-athletes have to deal with, and people like yourself that have done it at such a high level, it can be even more challenging. And when you talk about regular life, like I always talk about how the first 2 to 4 weeks after the season ends is a real struggle for me. It's a real struggle at home. My wife is now adjusting to me being around every day. I'm
Right.
adjusting to be in one place every day and not having that outlet of going and performing and going and competing. And I'm in that right now. I'm finishing up week 3 of being home. So I got like
Right.
1 week left and I got to get my shit together.
Hey man, that's serious stuff.
But
man.
what's unique about it? I mean, it's sort of obvious, but like, if you're an artist or you're a band or you're a comic or you're whatever, like you could keep playing the hits. So you will have a band that made one good album in 1994, and they can still tour that shit for the rest of their life. They can go do Old Cella. They can do
Yeah.
whatever. It's like whenever they
Yeah,
want, they can just.
I went to Old bro.
Oh, really? How was it?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
It was only one year, right?
It was only 1 year. The best part about that one is it was like Coachella, but it was so much more organized. You had your seats. Everybody stayed to themselves. They had like, booths. It's like a more mature audience, so you know how to party. They had like alcohol, food, and then they had booths with like Advil and merch.
Who headlined it
It
again?
was crazy. Roger Waters, Paul McCartney, and I forgot who played the third night. I want to say Roger closed it, but it was dope. I didn't see Paul. I saw Roger.
2 of the last 3 shows I've been to at Madison Square Garden. Obviously, this was pre-COVID. I saw Eric Clapton, who should not be playing music on stage still. I mean, this was the Garden, and he brought about as much energy as my 4-year-old does when he naps. And then I saw Darius Rucker, who is still making music, obviously, and making good music. And his opening act was Bare Naked Ladies, which was like a one-hit wonder from the 2000s. And I'm like, these guys are opening at the Garden? A little tinge of jealousy there that they get to keep doing it.
You hit it once, you can keep just keep hitting it again every year, man.
But it's like that. It's like that with actors too. I mean, like it financially maybe not the same way, but if you have a movie in 1997, there's still people can always watch that movie over and over again. And I guess you can rewatch old games.
You know what it is, man? It's the TV shows, man. That's like that's pretty. And I don't want to misquote anything, but And I've been in a couple of TV shows, and it's like a little 5-second clip, and I'm a SAG member, so I get like a check for like $1.85 every 2 months or something like that. So, and I'm just looking, I was like, wow, that was 5 seconds. How much is their SAG check when it's like 18 seasons? I have one of my good friends, Jared Padalecki. They're finishing up Supernatural. I think it was like 19 seasons, So, I mean, they'll be just playing those reruns, man.
You need syndication. Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah,
you need syndication,
man. That's I don't know for sure all the way, but I'm pretty sure it's decent.
By the way, Tommy, I love the humble brag of just I've been in a couple TV shows.
What were the shows?
I did a cameo in Entourage. The older Disney show Jesse.
Oh yeah,
Jesse. That was crazy. I didn't know it was so big. NCIS, SVU. A bunch of shows that got canceled.
It was just a cameo. You didn't have like a role in SVU, did you?
Nah, I didn't have a role. I think Mello was there too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was me
That's
and Mello.
hilarious.
It was on SVU, and I didn't, it was funny doing those shows and kind of just having, it's like I say, having those 10-second little spots. You don't know how many people watch those shows until you're on it, and then you think basketball is pretty popular, and then you have grandmas and coming up on you. You're on SVU. I love that show. My mom watches you. It's like a different audience.
That's great.
JJ was supposed to be on One Tree Hill.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on One Tree Hill my rookie year, but we couldn't get the production days down, and they were trying to film in season in Wilmington, North Carolina. I didn't have that type of bread where I was like going to fly PJ back and forth day of, so I didn't do it. I was in some remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was a Michael Bay movie. We filmed at the Garden after a game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they cut the clip though, man. It was like a 3-hour shoot. I think they cut the clip. So I don't think I made it on. I just remember the end of the scene was supposed to be the Turtles helped the Knicks steal the ball from the Clippers, and the ball ended up in Langston Galloway's hands, and he was going to make the 3 at the buzzer. And I lie to you not, it took 17 fucking takes for him to make the shot.
And this is after the game?
No, this is the next day, like the next morning. Like we all came in. I was like, man, this guy. Actually, believe it or not, I still get a call like every 6 months from this woman who works for for SAG, telling me they have a check for me, but I really feel like it's like a scam, like it's a fraud thing. So I never call back.
You gotta get your check, bro. It'll be like $2.05, man. Shit, I don't leave a penny on the table, man. That's good business. Go get your money.
All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Chris, we talk a ton on the pod about we've talked about it a ton, but about heat culture, and we've seen them get off to this 6-0 start, or get off to a 6-0 start in the playoffs. There's something about their team that I feel like it's made for the bubble.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit about heat culture and what that is when they talk about that?
Well, I mean, it's really just the approach to things. It's the way of the Heat, really. To be hardworking, to be in shape, to compete, regardless of who's playing together, sharing the ball, and really, Spo. I give huge credit to Spo. He's done a phenomenal job of really just continuing the Heat culture and really putting those things together and figuring out how to transition all of those beliefs onto the court, and have guys buy into it. I think that's most important when trying to compete, because it's so many factors it's hard winning one NBA game. You know what I mean? And
say that again for the listener.
Yes.
Say that again for the listener.
It's very hard to win one NBA game. For everyone out there listening,
one NBA game.
Yes. I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm not talking about championship. I'm talking about a regular season basketball game. Those are difficult to win, and just trying to be consistent as a team and have these principles to base the system off of. It's not an easy thing to do, but Spo, he's brought an intensity. They've got the right players. Jimmy Butler has done a phenomenal job this year, and he's just, I think they identify with they're really good at finding those guys that fit that culture. Those hard playing, long arm dudes that would love nothing better than to get a defensive stop to get it all done. Scrappy guys, and they have a huge cornerstone in Bam Adebayo. He's a tremendous player. He has his own style. I've never really seen anything like it in the way he approaches the game and plays the game. But all these guys, and just seeing their guys like Duncan Robinson just improving in the way he's just shooting the ball. I'm not gonna lie to you. In the regular season, I'm the cynical vet. A guy does good in a regular season game. I'm like, okay, whoop-de-doo. Okay, 7 threes in a preseason. Okay, whatever. All right, we'll see. And he has been consistent the whole season, and guys like Goran accepting his role of coming off the bench. I don't know too many other organizations where, a guy would buy into that, to be honest with you. So, I mean, they're just doing a great job of how approach the game, how to be a professional, how to play together, how important things are. And I think you're seeing that transpire onto the court. And they're up 2-0 right now, which is crazy.
What is the heat conditioning test? Can you describe it? Because it's a legendary conditioning test. You can't enter training camp. Like, you can't participate in training camp until you pass this conditioning test. So what is it?
It's just 5-10s, man. You've done it before. We've all done it before. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just mentally, it's the mental. It's not even really, it's not hard, but it's the mental aspect of it, because we've all passed conditioning tests before, right? You just probably haven't done it since college or since you were like a rookie or something in training camp and they were just busting your balls, This, the whole team does it together. And I think that's kind of like the mind, because you do have to push yourself. It's not easy. And they have just, selected times. And the deal is you don't start training camp until you pass it. And it would be really embarrassing to not pass in front of the whole team,
Well, a lot of that becomes public, and then you're publicly shamed. So it's 10 lengths, one up, 2 back.
Yeah.
10
1,
times.
2, 3, yeah.
In under a minute? What is it timed?
I can't remember the times. I think guards 61 to 62 seconds, forwards 62 to 64, somewhere in there. I think bigs 65 to 70, somewhere in there. But then they'll be like, okay, my thing all the time was for them to push me. They're like, you got to make it with the threes. You got to go with the small forward, CB. You don't be out here coasting, and I was just always like, man, and you only get so much rest. And like I say, everybody's in front of you. So they've got that thing organized pretty solidly. So it's quick, very quick, very quick. And if you've been kind of shortcutting it over the summer, you're going to get exposed. And, it's, I come to appreciate it now. As a player, I hated it, to be honest with you. But we all bought in. But it's just like a certain preparation, because a lot of guys use training camp to get in shape. Their philosophy, come into camp. You hear Pat and Spo say it in interview after interview, come into training camp in shape. And we get going because, a lot of teams are kind of just, still going through the motion in the first month, still getting their legs, still we want to whoop ass coming out the gate,
Hearing you describe that test, while I think I could pass it, that's not the issue. I actually started getting like butterflies in my stomach, because I'm thinking about all the conditioning tests that I had to do at Duke, or even like in my off season when I do my conditioning stuff, and at the end of your workout it's that conditioning day, and you get like that sick feeling where you're like, man, I really don't want to do this. Nope. I really don't want to do it, but I know it'll help. There's nothing worse than running. There's nothing worse. And
it's still that tap of like that, just breaking your body all the way down. I mean, your soul getting tapped every time. Like, God damn, dude. Like, you just bring you to your knees, push, make the time. You got to lay there for like half an hour and gather yourself. I don't miss that, JJ.
How much did you know about this culture pre-2010? Like, was it a thing that you were aware of? No, zero. I think, I think it was always there. Social media kind of becoming more prominent after that. It was more exposed, and really even the Heat embracing it and being forward about it. I was actually surprised at how much the guys started talking about it. But I think it's just been little bit by little bit, little pieces of information at a time that has gotten out, and it, to be quite frank, it works. And sometimes people can't deal with the simplicity. I think it's like a simple idea, but it can, lead to great things, and guys like Spo and Juwan Howard and
and Shane Battier and Pat Riley, they know Lonzo Mourning, they know what it takes to kind of reach the pinnacle. So it's really just exercising those habits daily and trying to, just be a great at what you do, pretty much is what the message is. And it's really hard. Like I said before, it's really hard winning in the NBA, man. And if you want to be successful, you gotta do things you don't want to do. But the coaching staff, they always do a great job in calling out things, nipping things in the bud, having that community feel. Those things that can feel corny, like Christmas parties and family gatherings, they feel corny, but then you get into them and it's an important thing. You get to know the assistant coach's wife and seeing the different people that work in organizations. I mean, it's a good thing. And especially looking back on it, you just want to try to build habits to be successful. And that's all that really is. That's all that they're trying to do.
So much of that is accountability. And in my experience, and I can't speak to the Heat because I haven't been there, but in my experience, accountability is one of the hardest things to actually enforce in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because we say it, the media says it, organizations say it, it's a players' league. And
right.
So to get buy-in on the player side and then, to subsequently hold players accountable to that buy-in, to me is the greatest challenge that a coach and a front office can have in the NBA.
For sure. I agree with you. And and that's one of the things about getting older as well. You kind of see, I had those pissed off, angry feelings at the young guys, or even really just guys that played, period. And then as the game changes, you're automatically like, oh, look at this shit, But I had to come to a realization that, yo, dude, you had your time. You shouldn't have an opinion about how they express themselves on the court. You know what I mean? The game changes. People looked at me shooting outside jumpers when I was young and been like, hey, get the ball to a guard. That was that era. And I took part in being part of an era that changed that. And then the game continues to evolve. I think that's more important in accepting that, and not fighting that and being okay with that. And that kind of really, really helped me. And then, just watch the young guys do their thing. But with that said, yeah, you can't escape accountability and me being removed from it with really the salaries being at all-time highs, it would be more and more of a challenge to tell a guy that's making $25 million before taxes a year, yo, you need to be the low man, or, you didn't rotate. Like, man, what you talking about, man? Give me the ball. And it's those little, and asking that guy that's making $25 million to say, hey, you need to come off the bench. I think it's the money has kind of, which is a great thing, but it's kind of changed the ego just a tad. And that's natural. It's going to be natural, but there are, when you're building a team, there are certain things. Somebody's got to rebound, man. Somebody's got to set screens. It's basketball. That'll never change. Somebody has to just stand in the corner, and then you can't be JJ Redick. No, I don't want you cutting in front of the ball. I don't want you moving off screens. I don't want you shooting threes off the screen. Stand in the corner. That's what I need you to do. And, a guy might not accept that.
No, you're right. I mean, I think the money certainly has affected that. I think in some ways the money has, it's weird, has demotivated winning because the money's so much now, right? It used to be like, all right, if you're on a team and you win, the best players are going to get paid no matter what. But if you're on a great team and you win, like, the role players get taken care of. You're
Yeah.
going to go find a healthy market for you in free agency.
Right.
Now, it's just like everybody's going to get paid, basically, or everybody assumes they're going to get paid.
Yeah,
Who knows?
no.
Who knows? Yeah.
No, and that's why I give the Heat so much credit. Just and the Spurs as well. Great organization, getting guys to buy into the system and asking them, to be responsible for their roles and be accountable, man. Hey, you missed that one, bro. You fucked that one up. It is what it is.
When you guys joined together in Miami, did you go in with the understanding that you were going to have, by all accounts, relative to Toronto, sort of a reduced role, and how hard was that at first to kind of navigate? Because so much of being that third guy is not having the ball go through you and learning to play off other guys, and that's two different things relative to what you did in Toronto versus what you did in Miami.
Right.
Especially when Bron was there, because after Bron left, you went back to being sort of one or two, depending on what was going on.
I'll answer the question, but just a funny, quick thing. When I got to that second phase or third phase in my career, I didn't want plays called for me anymore. I didn't want it. I just wanted to play in the system. I was telling Spo, like, don't draw any plays for me. All my stuff was random. And I just made the decision when to go and when not to go. That's the funny thing about that. But yeah, in Toronto, it was mainly, it was a block league at the time. Throw it on the block and go to work. Let your guy go to work. And I obsessed about that. I wanted to be the best at that and establish myself. So coming to Miami, to be honest with you, I thought I was going to be the leading scorer. Because in my mind, I said, okay, my thing combined with just getting open shots from D, for sure. But I think we greatly underestimated how difficult it was going to be to gel as a team under the microscope on top of that. So, and just kind of learning on the fly. And like a lot of people forget, like we didn't have a preseason. we did, but he pulled his hammy the first possession of the preseason. And so we didn't, so you know how it is. You pull a hammy, sit down. And he just got ready for the first game of the year. But we had no chemistry coming out the gates. And we weren't going to have that much on top of it anyway, even if we would have had a full preseason. So I think all of us we greatly underestimated the things that it was going to take to gel. For me, I didn't really see, it was still about me, I. So I was not understanding why they weren't giving me the damn ball on the right block, And then you had to get over that. The system was different. Everybody was just trying to figure out what the hell is going on while people are heckling, and hey, a lot of it we brought on ourselves too. Well, hey, I'll be the first to admit it, which, that's funny, but it was difficult. It was very, very difficult, but I'm glad it was a great challenge, and I'm glad that we were able to learn a lot from that experience.
How did you adjust to you mentioned the microscope, but like when you were in Toronto, you were obviously incredibly successful on the court, but you were just a fan favorite. I remember you were making those all-star videos, and you were the guy that, like, even if you weren't a Raptors fan, everybody liked Chris Bosh. Like, he was just a funny, kind of quirky, also really good player. And then all of a sudden you get down there and you get thrown into this and you're taking kind of like shells left and right. And you're like, what the fuck did I just walk into?
Bro, the funny, craziest part, up until 2010, like you were saying, people liked me. I understand now, because it's like, you're a good basketball player and you're non-threatening. I wasn't threatening. I was north of the border. Toronto will never win a championship, and people could make up whatever in their mind. The summer of 2009, bro, people were so nice to me because everybody wanted me to come, next year during free agency. So, dude, the love that I got, it was the last. It was a grand finale for all that. You know, I went to Chicago. Yo, Chris, what's up, bro? New York. Oh, yo. It was like everywhere, bro. L.A., you name it. Everybody up until that moment. Then it was like, okay, we can go with the rest. You know, so me coming from that situation, I was really naive. LeBron and Dwyane had the upper hand on me because they knew what was about to happen to a certain extent. Me, I'm just like, yo, what's up? You know, some people in the back, shut up, bitch. You know, I'm like, God damn, who said that? You know, and so, yeah, bro, it was a bunch of stray bullets, man. Yeah, I was in the car too, and
D came on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and he said he was surprised by the backlash. Like he thought this was going to be sort of a celebrated thing that, you know, three great players joining together to sacrifice to win championships, and everybody's like, hell no.
But that was the funny thing. That's what caught us all off guard because we were all basketball fans, and the little boy in us is thinking like, yo, what would be cool? And that's how I would totally get what he means. I've told people that same thing. Like, I thought people would just be like, yo, I want to watch that basketball. But it was just the way that it happened and the way that things, and then, and you know, the way that I learned how they could take it and twist it. It didn't need much twisting now. Don't get me wrong. They went from, you know, we was on medium high. They like, okay, high. Let's turn up that pressure. And yeah, we walked right into it. But hey, it was good TV.
Do you guys ever, I've always wanted to ask one of you guys, do you guys ever regret, or have you ever talked about doing the victory parade before you guys ever played a game together? When you guys all came out on stage, like, was that a mistake? In retrospect, was maybe that brought a little bit of that animosity on?
You can look at it, yeah, the animosity, totally 100%. But people have to understand, we didn't organize that. If they say, yo, we're signing JJ Redick tomorrow, and it's 20,000 people there, you're not gonna be like, nah, let's just, hey, pull the plug. No, we're not doing this. You're not going to do that. We went right along with everything that was going on. And I had just found out that the only reason that stage was there is because I forgot who had a concert. Somebody had a concert, was in between concerts. They were doing 3 days or something like that, a 3-day stretch. So the stage was still there. So we got there. They're like, yo, yeah, but come on, bro. They like, yo, we get there. They're like, yo, look, we got the stage. You guys coming up right here. I'm like, oh my God, it's like your dreams coming true. You know, with that said, we did not empathize or even consider. It was like Miami was a bubble, bro. We didn't think of anything outside. We were just like, stage, hell yeah. Interview, nailed it. I mean, we took, yeah, bro. We, went right. It was just, bro, thing to thing. Parties, legendary. You know what I mean? We're living out of a hotel. You know, it was just crazy, man. It was just a crazy time. And then about 2 days after all that stuff happened, that's when the smoke cleared, and we kind of figured like, oh, they didn't like that. I didn't even think of that stuff.
In retrospect, do you feel like it specifically being the city of Miami that this happened in caused some of this? Because I remember people saying at the time, they were like, this is like the kind of like dumpy girl getting dumped by the prom king for the supermodel. Like no one's rooting 100%. For the supermodel.
That's the classic story, bro. It's the classic story. And I mean, you can, which I'm glad it worked out for Bron and him and the city of Cleveland and Northeastern Ohio, getting that healing through a championship. But yeah, man, it's like, yeah, leaving your prom girl as soon as you get the deal. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm out. Thanks for it all, but I'm about to, and everybody knew it was about to happen. They were it's the same thing. Like when KD went to the Warriors, it's like, uh, it's a similar move. But hey, man, it could go so many different ways. And when you're young, I think sometimes that gets a little misconstrued. People kind of expect athletes to automatically just have these life lessons and know things. You shouldn't have done that. Man, I didn't know what was going on. We didn't know people were going to do that. We didn't even consider it, man. I was partying. But, going through that and kind of seeing how your words can be powerful. One, we didn't do any bad actions, but just to consider, people doing that shit. We didn't see ESPN with jerseys burning. We were at Live, we were at Wall, at the club, we were at Mr. Chow, 20 people, dinner. You know what I mean? It's just like things are going so fast you can't even catch up, because it's like this new life. And for me, I was wide eyed. I was like, bring it all, bring it all. I know. I thought I knew. I watched Mike. My naive ass was like, oh yeah, we watched the Bulls. Hell yeah, we know. We watch Kobe and Shaq. We know what's going on. Shit, it was not the case at all. It's a different flavor.
We should note. So you were like 25 or 26 at the time. Bron was 25 at the time.
Yeah.
D was 28 or 29. Like, you guys were all in your mid 20s.
Yeah, I was 25, bro.
Yeah, it's so to expect anything less. I mean, if I signed at 25, if I signed a $110 million contract to play with two of the greatest players ever in the city of Miami, yeah, I'm going to live for a week straight. I'm doing everything you guys did. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
But the course is that. The course is that everybody's not going to like that. And, we had to come to terms with, it's like that aha moment, like, oh, this is what you got to go through to win a championship. And so that's like, and then Pat's like, I was telling you, you know what I mean? But it was great. I mean, it was a very humbling experience, especially not being successful that first year. I felt that probably would have been the worst thing for that team. To be successful right out of the gate. I think mature wise, we wouldn't have been able to bounce back and deal with like the things you have to deal with as a defending champion. I don't think we would have accepted that challenge the way we did.
What did you learn from that first year? And to follow up on something you said earlier, when did you sort of come to the realization that, hey, man, I got to change my game a little bit to make this thing work? And I guess maybe did those things happen, kind of simultaneously? Those things coincide with each other? Yeah,
I think the best thing that happened, or the thing that I learned most from that season is to really just, one, you can get all the way there and lose. You don't get to the championship and lose. I don't care who you're talking to. You don't lose, right? Mentally in your head when you're visualizing it. Man, having to deal with that, bro, is embarrassing. You're shameful. It's all that stuff. You don't even want to go anywhere because everybody saw it. You know what I mean? And it's so tough because when people see you, they just, yeah, man. And that's the people that like you. People that don't like you, they're like, you feel the kind of the point, like, oh yeah, damn, y'all blew it, and I came to understand that a little more, and how much pressure you have to deal with in that, but how real it is. That's how much I learned, and how humbling it is, and just to be like, hey man, okay, take that off the table. Let's get back to a place of enjoying playing basketball, because we weren't enjoying ourselves. I don't care if people are booing you. They're going to boo. You're on a road game, and they're going to cheer you at home. The media is going to do their job, and their job is to create stories. You got to, what it is. Let's get back to a place of falling in love with the game and being with the guys and enjoying this experience. We have the ability to win it. We just got to we have to accept the challenges, you know, and you have to accept knowing that you could lose. That's what I think a lot of people don't talk about, because with that thought process in mind, right? You know, you a kid, you in little league, like, oh yeah, we get to the championship, we win it, right? That mind frame doesn't change. So when you lose, it's like it's crushing, bro. It's and then for me, that was my hometown in Dallas. Like I'm looking on
Yeah.
Facebook, I'm seeing like my old high school classmates with like Mavericks shirt on, posing like they're Mavericks fans. Nobody was Mavericks fans back in the day. I'll be honest with you. Now everybody got Mavericks shirts, champs. I'm like, you know, and being an extreme competitor, it hurt, man.
But also, I was meaning to ask you this before. Like, that felt like that series, or maybe your run there, felt like the first time, like Twitter was coming up, social media was starting to blow up. Like you were becoming memes. Everyone, but like you, Mario was like this a little bit. It would be like you guys would have a fight on the court that was not even important. It'd be some stupid thing, and everybody would be talking about it and like psychoanalyzing you and everything like that. So it's not just that you have to worry about the game. You have to worry about people like thinking they know what you're thinking.
For sure.
And you're just playing.
Yeah, and that was always a funny thing because like me and Rio, it was all love out there. We like yell at each other. Then after the game, yo, let's get something to eat. All right, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? It was nothing because we're both intense competitors, and we just sometimes I like yelling at people. He likes yelling too. We could be talking about, you know, going to, you know, hey, what you eating? I'm eating In-N-Out after. Okay, you know, and people are they'll make a meme about that, you know, but. You know, it was kind of, it was raising as kind of, and that's why I disconnected from social media, because I learned early on, like, oh yeah, don't read the comments, bro. Like my day was getting ruined daily, man. And I said, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't put myself in this mental mind frame anymore, because this cannot be good for me. And it might be some 12-year-old in Cincinnati, you know, cursing me out or something like that, and it's really affecting my day. I kind of stopped that and stopped trying to connect and pour myself all the way into the game. You know what I mean? And my family.
Is it harder to win that first championship, or is it harder to defend the championship?
Way harder to defend, because the first one, after losing it, we were motivated. It didn't matter what you said to do, we were going to do it. If we had to grind it out 70-70, if we need to fast pace it like today's game and score 130 points, cool. That's what we need to do. We were too motivated that first year. The second year, you know, dealing with the target on your back and pushing yourself to compete every day, like that was very tough. And then I mean, even the first day, bro, they kicked us off. We had China, so we won a championship. You know, the international trips, you start training camp, they nudge it over about 5 or 6 days, and those days are important, man. You know, when you coming off, you know, a 2-month rest, you them 5 days, you need those. We didn't get those. We went right to China. And man, when I tell you Spo got right to it, but we were all focused because it's like, you know, now we got Ray and Rashard here. Oh shit, it's serious, bro. We gotta get to it, you know, and we got to it, and just the whole season and teams getting better. You feeling that, you know, and dealing with you like that late March, mid-March slump. Oh, it's you know, the season drags on. You're ready for the playoffs, and you still got 20 more games, and we're a half game out of first place. Those same intense goals that were a year before, you get a little more comfortable, like, we'll win anywhere. You know what I mean? And you have to deal with complacency. We did a great job in beating that year, but you have to deal with complacency just a little bit. And then, you know, guys wanting bigger roles and wanting to do more and not being satisfied with what they're doing. And for me, that was like the thing. It was like, I'm meeting with Spo. He's like, all right, CB, all right, here's the big game plan for you this year. Share the ball. I'm like, yo, come on, man. I'm gonna play you and Ray a lot. I need you guys. I got less shots than I did last year. But it's a continuation and trying to figure out how things go,
I think simultaneously there's the complacency internally that a team has after winning, and you have to battle against that. I don't care how much you like winning or how competitive you are. It's when you do something at that level, it's hard to let it down. The other part of that is, even before you guys won, starting in that first year, for 4 years, you guys got everyone's best shot every night.
Oh yeah,
you were playing in hostile environments every night. I would imagine, and then making long playoff runs to the final. I would imagine amazingly rewarding 4 years of your career, of your life. Very enjoyable at times, very difficult at times. But I would think one of the words to describe those 4 years would be exhausting. I would think that whole experience would be exhausting.
Oh yeah, and I mean a lot of things happening off the court, just personal attacks that you have to maneuver around. That's taxing. You trying to live your life and being able, I don't know, just disconnect from basketball for half a day and go see a movie. Hey, yo, Bosh, we winning or what? You know what I mean? It's like, damn, and which I understand it, but it's not easy to deal with. And then, like you say, getting the team's best. I mean, we got so good at anticipating who was ready to go. Because we be like in the national anthem, you know how you be some guys close, you look up, we looking at the other team and like, oh boy, you see them when they jittery and moving. And it's like, here we go, let's go. And it's that, and it's no offense to, a city like New Orleans, but we're in New Orleans and it's like a playoff game on a Tuesday. So we're just trying to get better. We know that these guys are going to bring it, and it's going to be probably that guy that we don't see coming that's going to kill us tonight. It's going to have like 20 points. You watch him again that next week, he's not so successful because he's not as hyped up and amped up, But just like dealing with that, it was fun though. It kind of sucks too because in that situation, I remember Rudy Gay. We were playing in Memphis one night. I think it was like a Friday. And before the game, he was like, hey, man, appreciate you guys, man. It's only like this every so often. Then he hits a game winner. I can't remember if it was over or who it was over, but, yeah, he hit that right fadeaway shot over like two dudes to win the game in front of everybody. And they're going crazy. People, But just to see, like, taking a road loss like that and like it being just a crazy night, we aided to the crazy night they're about to have in Memphis. It's just like seeing the big party if you guys beat us. And if we win, it's like, what you gonna do? Whatever. It's just the dudes sweeping shit off the court and that's it. We just keep going.
Doesn't that make the win streak even that much more impressive though? To win 27 straight when everybody is doing that every night?
Oh yeah, I mean that was a part of it too. Just like I said before, accepting that challenge and rising to the occasion a little bit and just being able to say, all right, cool, we won it. Now with that said, I remember me and David Fisdale, we were having a conversation about that. He said, you guys were the worst during the winning streak. Just trying to coach you guys. Oh my God, it was the worst. Like, and Spo being Spo, he'd be, it was 3 games I remember correctly. For sure, it was in Boston. We were down 20. At Cleveland, we were down 28 points to Cleveland when they had won like their winning percentage like 16%. They were whooping our ass, and we came back and ended up winning the game by like 18. And it was another game I want to say against Charlotte at home. Like totally just playing with the game and down 20 in the first half. Just kind of dogging it a little bit, but still making a dramatic comeback. And it was crazy time. I really I really can't even describe to you kind of, we were just in the moment going game by game, and some of them it felt like they just happened that way, you know, and we just strike a comeback or something crazy, and then we win. And then we play Chicago, and not that we knew we were going to lose, but we knew, like, all right, guys, come on, you know, you know what time it is tonight. And it was loud, and they beat us. I had found out too that Thibodeau rested his players the night before, the game before. He had the guys sit down, and then like, okay, now let's go. He had them fresh, had a game plan. That's how much of a competitor Tibbs is.
Was Miami LeBron peak LeBron?
Yeah, I have to argue. I think he's transformed so many times, but I feel that second year, I think he was on another planet. And it got to the point where we were just kind of, I'm a pretty good basketball player, but I'm kind of just watching him do his thing right now because he's just, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know where he is, but mentally, I mean, he was like shooting 60% for weeks, you know, and I mean, he wasn't missing. He made it easy. Then it's all right, cool. I'll be here on defense, getting some stops. I'll be open whenever you guys need me. It just became, he was very, very motivated to be successful. And I think us as a unit, the way we played the game, it allowed him to be successful. And then I think he was able to play off the ball a lot. I think once he went to Cleveland, he had the ball in his hands more, and he was asked to do more. Still the case in LA, and I don't know how he keeps up with it. But I think that time we could put him off the ball, have him working off of cuts, you know, make a play for him, you know, get him in the post, you know, get the pick and roll. You know, he functioned in different spots in the court, but he had Ray Allen to kick it to, and James Jones and Mike Miller to kick it to. I mean, dead eye spot up shooters, you know. So I think that made him a little more dangerous. But still, either way, it's like 1A and 1B to me. I mean, you know, I'll take his fifth best career, and that'll be the best of my, you know, best ever.
I say this all the time, but the longevity of excellence, I don't know how else to phrase it, but the longevity of just being at the top of your game, at the top of the league for so many years, I don't think anybody else has done it. You and I grew up watching MJ. The Last Dance, you know, was awesome to watch. Where do you stand on the MJ LeBron debate of who is the greatest?
You know what? I don't even compare it. To be honest. I think
you're smart. You're smart.
Yeah. And
politically
I'll
correct.
tell you
I
why.
like it.
Yeah, no, it's not even being PC. You can't. It's impossible to put them together. And I think it's disrespectful to Magic, Kareem, Kobe, and Bill Russell. You know, so it's like, okay, who's the greatest ever? One or boom. I'm like, well, what about Kobe? This was before he passed away. Okay, well, what about Bill? I just put Bill in his own stratosphere. He was like, this dude he won a championship as a coach, and then he's like leading the sports civil rights movement. Put him over here, greatest I don't know, you know, put him in his own stratosphere. I mean, you know, with MJ and Bron, it's just two different players. Magic, he won 5 championships and didn't even really finish his career like he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? This was 1980 to 1991. What, 11 finals appearances or 10? I want to say 5 championships. Okay. Kobe, 5 of them. Tremendous career. 2 jerseys retired. I don't know. I mean, how do you even compare those things? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. There's another example of longevity and doing it at a high level for so long. It's, I asked you that just because I wanted to get your thoughts, and I actually, to a large degree, agree with you because I do think it's so hard to compare players from different eras. And it does seem like as you transition out of one era, like you're transitioning out of the 80s with Magic and Larry, and it's like MJ picks it up and says, I'm the guy. And then there's that period where it's like Shaq's the guy. And then it's like Kobe's the guy. Then it's LeBron's the guy.
Yeah, it was like Kobe, AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Big fella. And then, then the wave of fours kind of came along in the late 90s, early 2000s. And yeah, I mean, it switches, it changes. And I mean, now you have the transformation, Steph transforming the game, and you having players that are influenced like Trae Young coming in there saying, damn, I didn't know you could do that. And then the bigs, Bron, KD, tremendous athletes that you can't put them in a box and tell them how to play the game. They're going to play everywhere. Then you got guys, that are influenced like that, like Giannis. Then you got just, the straight up bucket getters and step back 3-point shooters. I mean, it's just, it continues to evolve. But, comparing the eras is one thing. But, and here's the thing about the great players. They don't care. Nobody cares because they know it's so hard that even if they did meet, remember, we never saw LeBron Kobe finals. Everybody thought it was guaranteed. We never saw it. Even if they did get there, both competitors would say, oh, I would love to do that, to compete, because it's just going for it. You ask both guys, they say they're going to win 100,000%, and it's really, you can't have that conversation. And they're two different players. Like MJ is, killer assassin guy that's just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get 55 tonight and then just crush you under my thumb. LeBron is he's more of a point, to me, in my opinion, he's more of a point guard facilitator. He starts off the game by getting other guys involved. If he needs to get himself involved, he will. But he's more of a flow of the game guy, and he wants his team involved. So he wants Danny Green to get 5 3-pointers a game. He's aware of that. So it's just two different games, man. And then Magic was different. He brought some. I mean, come on, Jack Nicholson was at every game. How is he not the greatest of all time? It's just it just varies, bro. And everybody has their own life. It's subjective, bro. It's like saying who's the greatest artist of all time. You can't quantify that.
I want to say Bill Russell, greatest winner in our sport. I mean, that's just 11 championships. I think he won as, like you said, like a player coach in the middle of dealing with racism and the civil rights movement and being outspoken. I mean, he couldn't even go eat at the restaurant. You know what I mean? He won titles in that town.
He's
incredible. I just do want to point out that for some of those championships, there were like eight teams in the entire NBA. Some of those championships, he only had to win 2 rounds in the playoffs. No, so the format was different back then.
And you're playing against firefighters. Dudes had jobs. Dudes had jobs like in the summertime.
Firefighters.
Yeah, bro.
What, like lifeguards? Like lifeguards? They were lifeguards at the local pool.
Dude, gonna be a lifeguard. Go work construction after the NBA season.
After the finals.
I don't know why that's so funny.
No, that's true stories, bro.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Dude,
I didn't know that.
Part-time jobs. Like dudes went in the summer times and they went and got a job, bro.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Did you have a favorite opponent to beat?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. Any dude, any guy that I felt that we were competing. So it started off with the Garnetts, the Webbers, the Rasheed Wallaces, my heroes, Tim Duncan's. Didn't happen often. But then you get into the thing with your peers and, like Carlos Boozer, Zach Randolph, just those guys you're extremely competitive against because you know how good he is. Later on, Dwight Howard. Yeah. But with that said, I mean, Yeah, I always enjoy winning, and it was always a lot of people don't know where I'm from, and where I'm from, we're very extremely competitive, extremely competitive. So I enjoyed beating everybody. That's the PC answer, but the real answer is like, seeing if it was, if it was a Tim Duncan, a KG, and anybody who is extremely, extremely talented and who you knew that you've drawn from in their game, yeah, those guys, 100%.
That's great. All right, let's get to the speed round. All right, if you could redraft the 2006 draft, my draft, who would you pick number one, and why would it not be Andrea Bargnani?
Okay, Andrea is my man. And Andrea, I hope you're doing well out there, my man. I've been playing against LaMarcus Aldridge since I was 16 and he was 14. And I watched him develop into where he had gotten to at that moment, which was being the number one pick in the draft. Easy. I actually looked forward to playing with him. I thought we were going to be like a hometown Twin Towers kind of thing, because that thing was still alive in the league. I knew they were going to pick Andrea first when I started talking to him, because and Andrea he's very talented, put the ball on the floor.
Had a few good years. Had a few good years.
He was
talented. Yep.
Very, very, but it's just the way that I saw it. I figured like, LaMarcus, head and shoulders, is the best player in the draft. And one could argue that he's had the best career. One of the best careers. Now, with that said, Andrea, he was very good. We still had a very good team, and he fit what we were doing. So I think it was more of the vision that they had with European domination in Canada. I'm joking. But half of our team was from Europe.
Who is the young player in the league under 25 right now who reminds you the most of yourself?
Oh, Jaren Jackson, I'd say. And I hate to say that because he's left-handed. I hate when they're like make the comparisons.
He's super skilled.
He's like Bosh because he's left-handed.
Is he lefty-handed, or just he's not?
I don't know. Is he left-handed? I mean, I've seen
he's more like two-handed.
Okay.
Yeah, he shoots
that
like a I don't know how to describe it. Like a butterfly shot.
Yeah,
I don't know how to describe it.
I met him.
It's two-handed.
Yeah, I met him, and you know how older people are when a young dude get around an old guy, and they're like, "Yo, you need to talk to him," and it was kind of that situation one day, and I spoke to him. He's very intelligent dude. He loves to play. He's like more of an interior player. He has the ability to shoot outside, but he's more interior. He knows how to move without the ball. I wasn't that good at that age. But just seeing his low post moves and kind of seeing his demeanor, because right away and I hope he listens to this one day, but the minute he figures out how to turn it up a notch, and especially him and John Morant, I think they could be a huge, huge, huge part to getting the Grindhouse back on track, and competing, for a championship one day, hopefully, if they desire that. But yeah, I think he would be, and it's more than just the game; it's his skills and just kind of his approach on the court. Because I looked at myself too, kind of. I like watch old game film of myself, and I'm just like, come on, man, come on. You want someone to do certain things that you want them to do instead of allowing them to play the game. And I think that's a good thing.
I like that comp. So I know you guys are big on travel. You've had some legendary Bosh family world tours on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to travel for 6 months. So the question is, where's the first place you're going to travel once that restriction is lifted?
I mean, my wife would get too mad at me. I can't give away the top secret. That's classified. But one of the places that we would definitely go, and I hope they're doing okay, is Italy. Italy. Italy is one of my favorite places in the world. I've been there a bunch of times, but they've got the beaches, they've got the mountains, they've got old stuff, they've got museums, they have different cities, different type of foods. I always have a great time anytime we go to Italy. And, a lot of huge basketball fans out there too. So, like a funny story, bro. Like, and we were going there when we were winning. So as soon as the championship was over, we go. And I mean, we're coming out the hotel. We take a taxi to this little spot, maybe the size of a living room. This dude comes out. He's like, "Oh, Signore Bosh, I'm making things for my mama God." And then he ran off, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" He comes back. It's just me and my wife. We have like a spread of like 15 or 20 plates, and he just keeps bringing food. I'm like, "Dude, no more, no, it's okay. You eat." And he ran out, and when I get some more, he ran out. It's like, goddamn, but incredible food. The people are incredible. We're definitely hitting there, and you'll have to see the pictures for the other spot. I don't want to expose it too much.
Fair. 2010. Go back to 2010. In your mind, Miami. If we're like playing devil's advocate or we're second guessing it, Miami was not an option. What is this? What is your second choice?
I would have went to Chicago.
Were the Knicks ever a consideration?
I took a meeting with them up into having a meeting with them, but they had a bit more of an empty plate. They still had some blanks to fill in. One thing I didn't expect was Chicago to have such a strong offer, because their pitch was, okay, they have D Rose, which you won MVP that year. D Rose, Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, 2 free agents, Taj Gibson, and we can figure out the rest later. That's a championship team right there. But it was just all about more of the feeling and picking up the vibes and who you connect with. But yeah, Chicago, they made a very, very, very strong offer, and they had a strong situation going, which we had to beat those guys. So
yeah,
it was very good.
In that alternate universe, maybe we could have been teammates, because I actually signed my offer sheet with Chicago. All right, let's get to the draft. So Tommy, please explain this week's draft topic.
We're picking the best songs, specific songs from the years 2000 to 2005.
Okay.
Any genre.
Okay.
Chris and I were the same high school class, same McDonald's class, 2002.
Hey, MVP right there, the McDonald's game MVP right there. You were the first dude killing everybody from 3. I was so mad. But we got our ass whooped that game. You know what was funny? The coaches were yelling at us during halftime, bro, at the McDonald's All-American game. You guys, I knew.
Is there a video of that?
Hell yeah, there's a video of it. You could look that up. Yeah, it was funny because we knew we were going to get crushed, because they had Melo, Ray Felton,
Amari,
JJ Redick, Amari Stoudemire. It's just God damn, man, they're stacked, and we're over here. All the scouts were at their end watching them practice, and we're just kind of, try to put in motion. Then the dudes were yelling at us this. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Dude, this shit is crazy. But yeah, quick sidebar.
My last 3 I hit was like a 30-footer, and DJ Clue was sitting courtside and I hit 5 threes in the second half, so he was getting super hyped, and I kind of was buying into it, and so I hit the 3, and I looked over, and then I pointed to the spot where I hit the 3. This is something a 17-year-old kid does who's never played a nationally televised game before.
This is Duke JJ.
This is the beginning of Duke JJ.
Oh yeah, baby.
All right. Anyways, I was going to say,
Chris, start it off.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it.
I'm definitely gonna go with "In the Club" by 50 Cent, bro. Come on, dude. Everywhere.
Classic album. The whole album is
You can put the whole album on there.
Yeah, we ranked with Lillard a couple weeks ago. We ranked best rap albums ever, and that could have made an argument in the top 5.
Oh, for sure.
In terms of just bangers on that.
Yeah,
album.
great album. All
right, I'm second. I'm first. Mr. Brightside, Killers.
Oh, great pick, Tommy. Great pick.
Mm-hmm. I'm winning this draft.
I thought you were going to your
Me and JJ
first
are going
pick.
back and forth. We always lose to the guest. I'm not losing this time. I'm winning this.
Chris, Tommy only makes choices to pander to the people. He doesn't actually make choices that pander to his own whims.
Yeah, because I was about
likes.
to say, what makes the criteria? Is there a certain criteria for this?
No, there's no criteria. It's what
just
you
best.
Your favorite, your best 5 songs from that era.
Gotcha.
All right. I got 2 picks. Okay, so my first pick is going to be "Grindin" by Clips. And my second pick is going to be, I know I'm going to get crushed on social media for this, but my second pick is "Fix You" by Coldplay. Great fucking song. Great song.
I was wondering if someone was going to do that. Fucking pass, dude. No way.
Is it
top
my turn?
5? No, I'm up.
You're
my
up?
second
Okay.
pick.
And then you'll get 2.
Hey Ma, Cameron.
Dipset. Yeah.
Killer.
Okay. I can't believe you guys have any. I get 2 picks now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm winning this thing. So now remember, this is based off, this is my criteria. So the first one is going to be "Hot in Here," "Hot in Her." You know what I'm saying? Nelly, "Hot in Here." And then "Yeah" with Usher and Lil Jon. Now, you might hate that song, but that's only because it was so infectious.
You're just picking
And you
fucking
know-
biggest fucking hits.
You're just picking Billboard top
this is like
top
a now.
1 hits.
This is like now
unbelievable.
2001.
He just
one? I
looked
mean,
up what are the number
No, I
1
did.
songs from
No,
2000.
I didn't, bro. This is off of my memory. And then again, I said the criteria, because remember, I was drafted, so I was partying with grown-ups. I was 20 years old and in the club with the Sharks. This is what they played.
So this is best club song.
Albums.
We're
Yeah.
talking best. Yeah, okay. I get it.
That's what I was doing in 2000, 2005.
That's fair. That's fair. That's valid.
Hey,
All right,
I got to tell my kids that one time, like, I was young at 1.2.
Don't be like me. I'm going "Bombs Over Baghdad," Outkast, for my third.
You're going that as one of the best songs from that 5-year
That
period.
could have been top. That could have been, bro. You picked "Grinding" as your number 1.
It's a great song.
It is, but like I don't even understand what you're. Just go. You're up. You got
Fine. Just so you know, Chris, my number 1 draft pick when we did our best rap albums of all time, my number 1 pick was Aquemini. I am not an Outkast hater. The Outkast in the 90s were phenomenal. They went a little pop for me in the aughts. In the early aughts.
Chris is gonna pick "Hey Ya," guaranteed.
All right. So my next 2, I'm gonna go with Through the Wire, Kanye. And I'm gonna go with "Take Me Out" by Franz Ferdinand.
Ugh.
Franz Ferdinand.
That song is just so annoying.
It's not annoying, and it
It's
wasn't
so
annoying
annoying.
back then.
It was annoying then. It's annoying now. All right.
Whose go is it now?
I'm fourth. "Feel Good Inc." The Gorillaz.
That's a
Great
good
song.
one. That's
a good song.
All right, Chris, you got 2.
Solid.
Close it out.
I got "Prototype" by 3 Stacks. And I'll just go off the whim. What do I remember? I can't even remember 2000 to 2005, bro. "Burn" by Usher, bro. When that came out, you can put the whole album up there, but "Confessions," that was my soundtrack. 100,000% was my soundtrack at that time. You know, you play that one after a breakup, boy.
Yeah, that's solid. Is "Burn" a club song or no?
No, that's like "Get the hell out of here, go home" song.
Leave me alone song.
But that's like a riding in your car alone. Don't tell your Don't Tell Your Homeboy song. You know what I mean? Like me and my good friend, we had to figure out that we liked the album like weeks after it was out. 'Cause we were, R&B, you don't want to be, too R&B, you want to present yourself, in an according way. But after a while, man, that whole album, bro, we just start talking about it, just start coming up in conversations. Like, yo, yeah, bro, hell yeah, man, I love that. Great album. Top 5 album for me, for sure.
5th, Elevation, U2.
Elevation.
I needed a U2. I was between Beautiful Day or Elevation. I think Elevation is a better song.
I mean, Tommy, you have a good list. You have a good list.
I'll take my win.
I like the fact that your list is eclectic. It's an eclectic mix of songs.
Honestly, the Franz Ferdinand fucked you because you had a chance, but Franz Ferdinand is like not a top 5,000 song.
It's one of the most iconic songs from that period of time.
All right.
Dude, you don't like you don't like whatever indie rock has become and was back then. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But it was a pivotal song during that time.
It's just annoying.
And for me, I wasn't at that part where my musical palette wasn't as diverse as it is now. You know what I mean? Like right after around 06, 07 is when I started listening to other things. But other than that, I stuck with what I was familiar to, which was usually hip hop and R&B. And eventually I started like getting into, the Coldplays, the Tom Yorks, and the Radioheads, and listening, and even Gorillaz, like great album. You know what I'm saying? Demon Days. That was like the first album that kind of was like, yo, you should listen to this stuff like this, Chris. This is cool too. And that was like the year when I started changing it up a little bit. But it had been out for a couple of years. So like, around 06, 07 was when I started. But those songs, that's what's in my head, because we were just young, hanging out, and I've got a memory associated with each one of those. You know what I mean? So it's like
not safe for podcast memories from the.
No, this is strictly up here, boy. I ain't even putting that on paper.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna close this out with my 5th pick. So I really wanted to pick either Nas Ether or Bubba Sparks Deliverance here, but since we're competing so hard, I'm going to go with Stan from Eminem.
All right. Good song.
It's a great song.
Solid.
It's also my favorite.
I can't believe
it's also my favorite karaoke song.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't pick that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, Chris. Thank you. Thank you for all the time, man. Thank you for the insight. Your thoughtfulness is always appreciated. You've been a great guest. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. And hey, man, good luck with everything. Hey, man, you and Iguodala, bro. You the last of them. You guys are the last of the Mohicans, bro. Keep it going. Keep it going, baby. And I don't think you guys get enough credit for what you guys have put into the game and what you've given to the game. I want to tell you that, bro. Just watching you go from where we were, which was a good place, starting out, high school All-Americans, but then actually making things happen to be successful, that a lot of people don't know how hard that is, so congrats on that. You and Iggy, man, you guys, man, you give me hope.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys, man.